Afternoon, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Thought I'd enjoy a nice cigar this afternoon. The sun's came out. A tiny bit of wind, but not a lot at all. So I thought, perfect opportunity to actually get outside for once and have a cigar. So, cigar of choice is the poor Larranaga Picadores. This is, I believe it's a Robusto size, so 50 by 4 3/8. But I could be slightly wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's the size of it. It's a bit of a strange one. It just has this kind of unique poor Larranaga band. So different from the classic kind of gold and white ones that you often see. But this is actually a La Casa de Habano and a Habano specialist exclusive, or supposedly, but everyone kind of acknowledges it, that it's just a regular production that you can find pretty much anywhere. So yeah, gotta enjoy this, light up. I've had a few before. I've probably not had one for 3 or 4 years now, so we'll be interested to revisit it and see how it performs. I'll get back to you once it's lit and kind of give my impression. Okay, partway through the first third, approaching the end of the first third, kind of that classic poor Larranaga flavours that you find on the smaller vitolas. That kind of caramel, a little bit of kind of bacon spice, and a little bit of cream. I find that kind of, especially poor Larranaga Petit Coronas, once they have that kind of 4, 5, 6 years of age in them, they are kind of just pure caramel cream, kind of pure quality. Whereas these are still a bit young. I think this particular cigar may only be about 1.5 to 2 years old, so it still needs time. But you can see burning pretty well, quite an even burn. There is a little bit of wind now, so that might account for a slightly skewed burn, but nothing bad so far. Ash holding on quite nicely. Yeah, really impressed with this cigar so far. Nice kind of classic, I would say, English market selection shade of kind of brown. Quite a nice rich colour of wrapper. But yeah, really enjoying this so far. And I would say that if you've tried some of the other poor Larranagas, particularly, well, I say the others, there's only 2. Well, actually, sorry, there's 3 now actually. Poor Larranaga Petit Corona, poor Larranaga Monte Carlo, and the poor Larranaga Galanes. They're the 3 other vitolas in the range. I would say my favourite is still probably the Petit Corona. And then I probably could decide between the Monte Carlo and the Galanes, as because, well, they're kind of polar opposites in terms of size. One's a 33 ring gauge and the other one's a 52. But both have, but the kind of, I find it's a very consistent brand. But this one, I would say, is a slight outlier. Not as close to the other 3, but still a very pleasant and enjoyable cigar. So back again, as you can see, onto the, well, virtually done the second third, onto the last third now, pretty much. Again, just really good cigar. It's starting to show its kind of young profile. Like I said, I think this only has maybe about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Poor Larranaga is a brand that I find, if you lay down for 3, 4, 5 years, particularly the poor Larranaga Petit Coronas, or PLPCs, as they're otherwise known in the cigar community, those with 5 years of age in them just become sublime. But I would say the poor Larranaga profile does benefit from age. So yeah, kind of get into not ammonia, just more, I'm trying to think, that kind of young cigar flavour just starting to come in now. But apart from that, really, really good. Again, I would not recommend this cigar, but what I would say is, if you've never had a pour Larranaga, first try the Petite Corona or the Galanes to kind of get the more iconic profile and flavours that you associate with the brand. Like I said, this one's a bit strange. It lies just outside. It's a very similar blend in terms of flavour profile to the others in the range, but this one just is that slight bit different, which isn't a bad thing. It's like a few brands now that they come out with new cigars, and occasionally that cigar doesn't really suit the brand. I would say from Habanos, probably the most famous one in the last couple of years was the 2021 limited edition from sorry, what was it? Yeah, I believe it's the 2021 limited edition from Hoyo de Monterrey. It's meant to be a fantastic cigar. I haven't tried one, but what everyone says is it doesn't smoke like a Hoyo. It smokes more like a Partagas, kind of a lot more spice, a lot more punch than you would typically find in a Hoyo. And yeah, this one I would agree goes down those similar lines. As you can hear, the wind's starting to pick up now, unfortunately. Thankfully, coming towards the end of this cigar, but it's a bit on and off. But yeah, kind of a cigar that it kind of has those polar Larranaga flavours, but just isn't quite on the spot of the brand in terms of the blend formula, I would say. Also, if you were buying this in this country, pretty pricey. I think these are for what they are. I picked this up at the La Casa de Habano in, I believe it was in Berlin, which is a fantastic shop. I always say, Germany, if you ever get the chance to go to Germany, almost, it doesn't matter where in Germany, they're very passionate about cigars and pipes, pipes in particular. But I find they have a good cigar culture, and they have some fantastic cigar shops that always have, well, I suppose in the last couple of years with the availability of Cubans, the selection isn't always on the spot, as obviously it depends from day to day and week to week what their supply's like. But you'll quite often find a good supply of cigars. So yeah, it's why it's a bit of a strange one, this, because again, I'm enjoying it. It's a good cigar. But I think if you were buying it here in the UK for the price that they are, I think there's better value to be had. But yeah, I'll come back to you towards the end of the last third. Back again into the last third. Almost done the cigar, just a little bit left. Again, really good flavours. Starting to get a little bit of that bitter character coming in, but again, that can be expected for a cigar that is only a year and a half old or so. And that's always been burning a little bit quick, only because the construction was flawless, really good construction. The only downside was the draw was actually a little bit too open, which I find if you get quite an open draw, it'll burn a little bit faster than you would like. So you can sometimes get a slight bitter flavour towards the end of your cigar if it burns a little bit too quick. But that being said, really good flavours. I just double checked, this isn't actually a Robusto, it's a Hermoso number 4. So it's a 48 ring gauge by 5 inch. Virtually a Robusto, just a slightly slimmer ring gauge. Actually my favourite size, being one of my favourite cigars being the El Rey de Mundos Soir Supreme, and the San Luis Rey Regios is also a Hermoso number 4 size. Great size, but yeah. Also, these in the UK are £25. So some places have them for £23, which isn't actually too bad a price. So if you are in the UK, they're not actually crazy expensive for a Cuban. So I would recommend them. But yeah, that being said, hope you guys take care. You have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll finish off the end of this cigar. Cheers.